Thanks for joining in this conversation. I'm looking forward to where we go. So you and we've been chatting a bit about what we'd like to talk about today and what we feel might be useful for others. And something that's close to both of our hearts and maybe even wants to find a voice in this discussion coming out is power inequality. That is just, there are themes, collective themes of our day, as you know, as we all know. And since we've both been spiritual leaders, mature, hopefully at this point, matured and seasoned, that we both have seen quite a bit within ourselves and even behind the curtain of how power is being played out within the spiritual milieu and the how out of balance it can be so easily. In fact, probably predominantly. So, because these are human themes, these are themes that are just exist across the board in all contexts. So, of course, it's going to be in the spiritual arena. And so I wanted to just start off with asking you, Jac, what, how did this theme come into being of such importance and value in your life? And what is it that you might like to share with our audience to start off with, in terms of what might be useful? Where we might go, yeah.
Thank you, Susanne.
Yeah.
I think it's important for every person to recognize that they have power. Everybody has a capacity to impact another person, to make change in the world. We talk about like reducing our carbon footprint. It's like, that's an impact.
Yeah.
Every time we have a conversation with somebody, that's an impact. Whether we have jobs or not that are, making external change happen, we use our power every day in a gazillion ways. And I don't think we're aware of it. I don't think society is structured in a way of where we are taught that we have power and we're responsible for it. And that's where we have to start, regardless of what our calling is, what we do, and whether we're a parent or a teacher or retired or just starting off in college. You have power. Are you going to get off on it, or are you going to use it wisely? That's the first crossroads. And I suppose in our conversation, we have things to say around like, hey, we're around for a while. We've seen places and maybe done it ourselves too along the way of where we misused power, where we weren't that aware about it. So there is that decision point. Am I going to be responsible for how I use my power? Am I going to be accountable for how I am in relationships, the impact that I have in relationships? And the difference between responsibility and accountability for me is that accountability is always in relation to. You're accountable to something, someone. It could be a job description or a friend, anything. You're accountable to another thing or person. But being responsible, that's an internal gig. And then am I responsible for the impact I have? Okay, that's a deeper layer again. Now, am I responsible for the impact that I have on the other thing that I'm connecting to? So it gets very deep, the level of self-awareness that's asked of us when we think about power.
Yeah.
And the other alternative is turn a blind eye. I like feeling powerful because it compensates for my trauma. I like being powerful. I'm going to get off on this. Oh, look, I'm more popular.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like how you spoke about it in a broad way, and my curiosity next is in terms of spiritual leadership and spiritual teachers. So how is it that I mean, it's kind of it, part of what I think we're wanting to do here is help unbox and take apart a bit of what's really often happening behind the scenes, and how people are being harmed, people are being harmed, and a lot of it's unknowingly. There's a sort of an organic hierarchy that happens
Yes.
just when a person who is going to be spiritual becomes a spiritual teacher,
Mm.
and how easily, even if it's an innocent kind of movement in the beginning, let's just say, let's give it a benefit of the doubt,
Yes, yes,
that how easily that can get co-opted,
yes,
become, self-aggrandizement, and just an addiction to the status that
yeah.
emerges. And you've seen that play out, right?
Hmm.
We
As
all,
of you, as of you. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so, is there something you'd like to speak to about that? Just in terms of supporting people and being able to have discernment, maybe
Mm.
what's going on, that what's natural and what is maybe not okay, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a different way that maybe there's a way to address spiritual leaders, and maybe there's a way to address the students,
Yeah.
because it's together. We're kind of working together to support this hierarchical misuse of power, that status that you mentioned,
Yeah.
It's like getting caught in the trappings. It's there for a very long time. It's what gives many religions so much control. And it's bled into, especially the non-dual scene, which is like open a website and you're a teacher. It's that unregulated, unlicensed. And while that might be fine, there is like a naivety around what does a spiritual leader need to have in place or need to be aware of the traps and pitfalls that will naturally be challenged as part of your own growth.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everything that happens to us is for grist for the mill, isn't it? Like everything that happens to us is something for us to, well, is there something there? Is there somewhere I can learn in this experience? But when we don't question and see what the culture is doing, like, and how it has been in place for so many years, we kind of miss how it plays in. If spiritual teachers were just to step out of it, and students were not seeing the cultural bind that we have, then students will go to somebody else who's the new shiny, unless they see what the trappings are. I think there's something about addressing students and teachers together.
Hmm. I agree with you there, because the projections that students have, get taken in by the teacher, the person who's supposed to be the authority there about what awakening is. And like I said, maybe it starts off kind of innocent. First of all, my personal feeling is that one should wait and be well marinated, you
Yeah.
know, well marinated. But, there's so many parts to this, as you know. Um,
Can I ask you to describe well marinated? What would be the characteristic? What's that feel like?
Yeah, well marinated. What does that feel like?
Yeah.
Because well marinated, first of all, I think would be time, like
Yes.
just good old fashioned time. 10 years. I don't know. Well marinated, um, and do shadow work, and look at let the awakening that has likely been sort of a transcendent understanding in the beginning, this up and out. I'm spirit. I'm the totality, let that come back in and know itself here as that, and encounter all the places inside that doesn't know that, you know, and refine. If and then see, really, if you're not in a tradition, or you're part of, a lineage, then there has to be an invitation from life or from somewhere Where is the desire coming from, the motivation to want to teach coming from? Where is it? I think that's super important to ask
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely. So glad you said that. Where is that stemming from? And be radically self-honest.
Radically self-honest. Is it your pocketbook?
Yeah.
Is it, there's so many different
Yeah.
ways that,
Friends have told me I should teach. Oh, I've heard that so many times, Suzanne Marie. I've heard that so many times. My friends told me I should teach. So I started a website and I'm like, oh, you know,
yeah, yeah. And then what's speaking? And so the thing is that what I've discovered for myself too, is that as soon as you come out to teach, which I waited a good 9 years, as soon as one starts to teach, you have to be really careful to not let the teaching become stifled with this what I call being boxed in. You box yourself in, saying this is the end of this growth. Growth
yes,
doesn't stop. Refinement shouldn't stop. There are still going to be places, unconscious and conditioned places inside, probably for the
yes,
rest of our
for
existence,
sure,
that
for
are going
sure.
to say, this could be said in a more loving way. This could be understood
Yes,
more deeply, whatever.
yes, yes,
And if you put a stop to that and a cap, right?
yeah,
And you're projecting to your students that there is an end and that this is a
yeah,
representation of whomever of that
yes,
end, then one is stifling oneself
yes,
and and growth is not able to continue. And it's just such a disservice to the people who are wanting to learn about
yes,
what you're offering, awakening or whatever it is,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's really important. It's really important. So you have the marinating for 10 years.
Hmm.
Fantastic. I'm so glad we can put time on it. I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
Marinate for 10 years. Sure.
Yeah.
Go live a normal life.
Yeah.
And then, like, not everybody knows what shadow work is. And I know young people have different language for it, but it's whatever it is you don't know about yourself. So, how do you work on what you don't know about yourself yet? You need time. You need self-honesty. You need a support system. You need to deepen and become wiser. You need to be able to open to, you need to have humility.
Yeah.
Actually, you need to have humility.
That's it. That's a really important one, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
that takes I think that to really come to that is it takes some grit, like you get life grinds you down.
yes,
It grinds you
yeah,
down and you think you are such hot stuff.
that's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
you think you know something even.
That's
Grind,
right.
grind, grind. The
Yeah,
awakening is that you didn't know anything.
yes,
You entered the unknown. Now you
yeah,
suddenly know.
yes.
Yeah. You're the one that knows. Yeah.
But then you don't know anything really about the things of the world. That knowing is on your identity, but it doesn't mean that you know how to hold a group, how to create safety, how to manage your own nervous system. These things of the world, they might or might not be blessed by that grace. Usually not. You know?
No, then it's Earth School, right?
Then it's earth school. I like that phrase. It's earth school.
Yeah,
And that's the bringing it back in. That's the letting it percolate and marinate again.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
The rubber hits the
Yeah.
road. The awakened rubber.
Yes. Where
How
does the rubber
bouncy
hit the
is
road?
it, you know?
Yes.
How
Yes.
resilient.
Yeah. And the drug of the transcendent, it's gorgeous to like, you know, not have your mind kind of concerned about finances and relationships. And it's gorgeous to stay in that zone, but it's full of avoidance and denial of our humanness. And while we're in the human form, there'll always be stuff because our brain loves patterns. So it's going to do its damnedest to repeat patterns, and
Yeah.
like that's the antithesis of just staying present. It's the antithesis. It's like, so how are you going to make peace with this human brain that wants patterns? You're just going to avoid the brain completely, or are you going to say, hey, come in, come into this awakened state and let me be compassionate with my quirks and foibles and human conditioning, and let's leave space for it.
And let's try life and
Let's try life.
relationships and stumble and fall and fail.
Yes.
So the thing is, though, Jack, coming back to how out of balance it can become for a teacher,
Right.
for them to for a teacher to become unfortunately locked in their own self in prison of
Yes.
blindness.
Yes.
And one of the things that you had said to me the other day was that we need other people to be able to keep us accountable
Yeah.
and to keep us real.
Yeah.
And that oftentimes in that kind of environment, especially around a spiritual teacher or a leader who is grown to who's become popular,
Yes.
that they're surrounded by people who are not at their level according to them.
According to them,
For
yeah.
both sides, maybe.
Mm.
According to the co-agreement is that they're not at the same level, right? And so how is that going to keep one real if you don't have real relationships that are saying, you're acting out of alignment right now. What you're saying just doesn't, it just feels like you're faking it at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I've seen so often where, a teacher who's in that teaching mode and in that role, when a student says, that doesn't feel right, that doesn't seem right, that the teaching role is being played so much that that's your ego. That's your ego. That's your ego. And it's like it might be, but there actually could be truth in it too. And it's like we park the humanness rather than, coming into it and having it all available. Like what does that look like when a teacher isn't attached to the role and doesn't hide behind the role and doesn't get caught, as you're saying, in the trappings of it? It's like, oh, this is how it is now. I have followers, they have expectations. I got to just maintain this status and this image. It's like, okay, here's a call to honesty. Drop it. Drop it and start becoming more human, not to get more followers, but to place your own growth in the center of your own focus again.
Beautiful. That is just what an invitation.
Yeah,
An invitation. And that would
yeah,
probably be scary as hell for 99% of the people who are putting themselves out there. And it's such a disservice to themselves and to one another,
yes,
and it's something
yes,
that one has to keep watching. I mean, I have to watch it for myself
yes,
as a teacher.
yeah,
I don't have around me people, I don't have students around me who put me on a pedestal. Like if whatever people are doing, when I work with them, that's, there's going to be projections.
yeah,
There's such a dynamic at play, right? But in my intimate personal life, I think I would go crazy, crazy
yes,
if I had to not, if I wasn't able to be real.
yes,
My kids know who I am. I have
yes,
friends who do and
yes,
love me as I am,
yes,
which doesn't mean that awakening isn't living here.
yes, yes,
But there's this I wouldn't want to stop growing for anything. I'd stop this right now, put it down if it said you you have to keep this kind of personality of a teacher going, and that's
mm,
all the dimension that you get
mm,
to be.
mm, mm,
So I would think that, and I know you're not doing that either, and I would think that for those who have, boxed themselves in that way, and
mm,
we know a bunch of them, and people who are listening, you may know some, or maybe it's something to become educated about,
mm,
is that it's going to fester and it's going to get very dark and disturbed. if there's not a flow of fresh water flowing in and flowing out that's renewing itself, always
Yes.
renewing itself like the ocean water
Yes.
coming and freeing limitations, freeing ideas. I mean, why would you ever not want to continue growing?
Yes.
I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I would question the authenticity or the depth of the awakening if somebody doesn't want to continue growing.
Uh-huh.
I would, because awakening that shuts off our evolutionary, our humanness is an evolutionary thing. It's constantly growing and evolving. And if we're going to dishonor that, and if the awakening dishonors that, I would look at the authenticity of the awakening because there's probably dissociation in it or avoidance in it. There's something in it because it's like if you're everything, then okay, bring that right into your body. Now, everything must be welcome here, everything. So part of that unity consciousness, I think, gives us that gift if it's wholesome and if it's pure, you
Yeah.
know? And I love what you're saying about the ocean renewing itself and bringing in freshness and
Mhm.
just constantly wearing away at the rough rocks on the shore and hewing down everything to more smoothness.
Mm.
And I suppose I don't want our listeners to kind of, oh, I bring my humanness into my teaching role, so it's not like an either or. It's like that the teaching role needs to be something not sticky for you, or not a shield to hide behind, or not a projection,
Mhm.
but going there with more authenticity, I think.
Mhm.
While there are professional skills where you're not processing your stuff in front of your group, but you're like, ah, that's great. That's what I used to do. Is like, oh my God, they're right. They're right. I rarely process on the spot. Like if there's conflict or something, I'm just not wired that way. I rarely process on the spot. If something really, gets in, I have to take it for a walk. I have to. Um, and so like it's not in my nature to get like defensive at satsang, you know? It's like, oh God, I'm going to take that. I got to think about that. I'm going to take that out on the coffee break and like park that for later and journal about it tonight and see there's something in that the student was talking about. There's something in that for me.
Mm.
And I'll bring it in, to the relationship with the student if it's appropriate. And if it's not, I won't, you know? And that kind of professionalism we learn as we go. Like how much of your vulnerability and your wholesomeness do you bring into the role of teacher? And I think it's about like how do we stick to the role of teacher? Like are we stuck to it? Do we need it? Is it our guiding principle? Are we following a rule book of what it looks like to be a teacher? If we are, watch. Stop doing that. That that's a problem. That's
Yeah.
like a stopper for growth, isn't it?
I like what you're saying, and it's exactly how I see it as well, that that being a teacher, it requires skill.
It
And
does.
and there's like useful things that a student or someone is coming for. They receive that,
Yes.
take what's useful for them. The personal kind of stuff of the teacher, maybe now and then little peppering in there for me to make sure that people realize I'm still learning and growing. But
Yes.
I don't, unless most, I mean, it's very rare that I'll bring it into satsang as well,
Yes.
you know, because
Yes.
people are not there in order to see me process my stuff,
That's right. That's right.
right? So there is well, just skill and holding space for it all here too, whatever
Yeah.
is rising,
Yes.
right? It doesn't need to be voiced per se.
Yes.
To not give the impression or the sort of aura that everything is figured out here, to make sure
Yeah.
that the understanding permeates the teaching that growth is ongoing.
Yes.
Growth is ongoing. And when I said earlier that, that when someone stops the growth and is just stuck in their own projections, in their own self-reflection, I guess, like narcissists, are, that darkness can grow, that becomes an agenda. So then an agenda can develop. And if it didn't start off as an agenda, because some spiritual teachers, without them even maybe knowing it, are hungry for power. So there's an agenda there. Or they
Yeah.
get off on, having followers.
Yes.
It creates,
Yeah.
it gives them a high,
That's
makes
right.
them feel important.
Yes.
And there can be a false humility there that's pretending that's not the case. There's so
Yes.
much faking that can take place.
Yes. Yes.
But that kind of thing gets more and more ugly over time, right?
Mhm.
And you can see it with really deeply imbalanced, cults and teachers.
Yes.
It gets uglier,
Yes.
uglier.
Yes.
And the power dynamic gets really, really, disturbing and
Yes.
acted out, and
Yes.
violations and sexual violations or psychological violations, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, and your part, and you helped create the ASI, which maybe you can talk about for just a moment, but just like this is one of the reasons you created this, right?
Yeah.
Association,
Yeah.
spiritual integrity.
Yeah. Really to offer support systems and to normalize that teachers are in a process of ongoing growth and always will be.
Yeah.
And that there isn't perfection on our humanness. It doesn't exist. It cannot exist. It's like wanting a plant to be perfect. I mean, we can say, oh, when a rose is open to this degree, it's perfect. Somebody else might say, no, when it's a bud, it's like when it's, not full, that's the perfect rose. It's like, do you think the rose is concerned? It's just going through its cycle. It's naturally like the ocean, it's going through its cycle. And we're wired that way too, innately. So our culture and our commercial way of living in our so-called civilized world has a different view, because it's goal oriented, it's hierarchical, and this is when you make it and this is when you're a loser. It's like, oh my God, could we just unplug from all of that? And could spiritual leadership be a place where we normalize the humanness for spiritual leaders? And several people say, yeah, but if you just work with the teachers, you've got to work with the students who might need a therapist or a positive parental experience, but they're going to a spiritual teacher for that. And it's like, we can't work with students until the supports are there for the teachers. It's like, get peer support. It's really important, and it's absolutely normal that you need to have, as you say, Suzanne Marie, my kids know who I am. I have friends where you're not being the teacher. It's like every teacher needs to have people in their life where they're not playing the teacher at all, where it doesn't come up at all that they are asked for advice or guidance.
Yeah.
Just complete equality. Equality. That's very wholesome for us. And to create dynamics of peer support, to create webinars where we're having people coming in and sharing with us and having group discussions around shadow work, around our humanness, around how do we interface with climate change? How do we interface with our own, cultural conditioning around racism? Where are we at? And it just offers these spaces for us to think about these things, which we don't often get. We'll get them from friends, but we won't get them from our students. We won't be challenged in that way. So the ASI is trying to normalize the truth that imperfection is what makes us human. That's what makes us part of the ecosystem again.
Mhm.
It's not that we're perfect and we're the dominant species. No, actually, I would question, whether we're brighter than whales or not. I really would question that, you know?
Yeah. Um, the other point about one a teacher imagining that they need to be perfect and maintain a false front is from the student's point of view of projecting perfection onto anything is
Yes,
what I've always seen is leaving oneself out of the picture because we're never going to achieve that.
yes,
Neither they're not perfect, first of all, even if there's just a lot of pretense, which is an
that's right.
act, which is
Yes,
painful, by the way. And that,
yes,
as you said, you question the awakening, you know. Um, but for anyone as a student to imagine that, awakening is going to look a certain way, it's going to look like Ramana, it's going to look like some kind of angelic face or
yes,
just, there's because we're so unique.
yes,
Awakening is going to look like you
yes,
without the attachment, the idea of a self. That's all. But it's still
yes,
going to be you.
yes,
It's going to be Jack. It's going to be, whomever.
yeah, that's
And
right.
yeah. And the conditioning is what gets refined. The conditioning that's harmful,
Yes,
that doesn't serve, that is maybe harmful to itself here
yes, yes,
out, outwardly, that
yes,
gets to be seen through over time.
yes,
But the rest of the conditioning, the uniqueness,
mm,
the weird humor, whatever it is,
yes, yes,
so that's something I've seen, and it makes me sad for certain, spiritual types that will keep awakening outside in themselves and keep pushing it away, imagining that because it's just so unattainable because it's perfection, as you were saying earlier. There's a perfection model, and wholeness looks like everything. Wholeness,
yes,
yeah. Yeah. So it's first of all, it's not achievable perfection, but
yeah,
it's also it keeps awakening at bay. It's not attainable.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And I think that's one of the things that happens when one wakes up to in the heart and realize that that everything is that in
Yeah,
terms,
yes,
yeah. And that includes oneself as one is
yes,
with one's weaknesses and foibles and beauty,
yes,
right?
that's right. The exquisiteness of everything, the foibles is obvious.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that you and I had touched on when we had our conversation earlier is about the sad state of how
Mm,
competition,
mm,
which
mm,
exists
mm.
in all areas of life with human beings feeling separate, right? When you feel separate, it feels like there's never enough. There's
Yes,
never enough.
yes,
Or, right?
yes.
It's
And getting a good feeling because you've compared yourself to somebody else. I find that bizarre.
yeah,
And competition needs that, you know? It's about feeding yourself a good feeling at the expense of judging somebody else. Isn't that bizarre?
it's something that one can learn very young. It's like this
Yes,
virus that gets passed on generationally, that's us
yes,
and them, because there's such a feeling of being insecure,
yes,
not being good enough.
yes,
And so the overcompensation is at least I think I'm going to imagine I'm better than those.
yes, yes, yes. Or I'll play pickleball and yes, I want to win, I want to win. And that's fine in a game because we have structured systems. But personally, I don't even enjoy those games. I played pickleball once, and I'm like, after 40 minutes, I see how it works. Yeah, but it's about winning. I'm like, huh? It's like, I don't get it. I get the movement, the sport, the lobbying back and forth, but no, the competitiveness thing, I don't know, I'm just not wired for it, but I totally agree with you. It's like there's an inadequacy, and this is what's going to mask it or counterbalance it in some way if I am better than, whether overtly or in my head. Or if I'm worse than, I am programmed to feel less than. And it requires division. It requires that dualistic separate lens of perception. It's needed, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness me, you beautiful creature. Like, you've got you're the divine in form. Like you have to be unique in all your foibles and everything. You have to be exactly as you are. Like, let's play with it and have fun with it and experience it and welcome it and love every bit of it because it's the way it has to be. But our mind then goes and says there's something wrong with it. And it's like, what? What? Like, why go there? I know it's an oversimplistic thing, but really, we
It was
don't
kind
need to do that.
It was shocking to me when I'll just use an example, and I'm
Mm.
not using names or anything, but you remember the SAN conference,
Yes, indeed, the science and non-duality gang. Yes.
a big sandbox, they called it,
Yeah.
There was
Mm.
really sweetness about it. But one of the things that I noticed, I was kind of like this, I felt a little bit like this person that just started going to high school and didn't have a click yet.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Do you remember that feeling? I don't know if you had that feeling going to any of your schools that it was just sort of like this, like, I don't know where I'm going to fit in or what's going to happen here, It
Yeah.
had a little bit of that feeling. And the reason that I think it had that feeling is because there were clicks,
Ah, okay.
clicks. And there was the in crowd, there were the front speakers, the next
Oh,
line
yeah.
speakers, and then the little
Sure.
you were lucky if you got, have a few
Yeah.
speakers.
Sure.
And then there were, and it's part of the tribe, it's part of a tribal thing that people hang out with birds of a feather flock together, that where people in it, there's
Yes.
something just natural and organic
Yes.
about that.
Yeah.
But there was also within it, inherent within it, a lot of interesting dynamics. It was just fascinating to see how even within an awakened collective,
Mm,
to whatever
mm,
degree awakens, there's
mhm.
all kinds of
Yes, that's right. There's many levels.
levels. um, how it played out, and it was there that I saw as this kind of still sort of a newbie teacher in terms of being more on a public front,
Mm,
not just in my living room with
mm.
the group. Where I saw this at hand, and I was kind of in a welcomed in the more literally it felt like the popular crowd.
Ah, did it. Okay.
I wasn't
Yeah.
lucky and just knew a few people, whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It wasn't like, oh, I'm in the popular crowd, but I could feel it because I'm sensitive.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
felt like then there were those who weren't.
Yeah.
And there were those who were coming to as listeners and participate
Yes.
in the thing, right? Talk about just it being right out in the open about
Yes.
hierarchy still
Yes.
playing out, competition still being played out. It
Yeah.
was nuanced, but it was there.
Yes.
And it kind of a bit honestly broke my heart a little bit to see that if we're having a hard time as an awakened collective, supposedly,
Yes.
to 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 not be seeing ourselves as equal
Yes.
and also all who are coming as equal,
Yes.
then we're in trouble in terms of what we're offering as a spiritual collective.
Yes.
What are we
Absolutely.
offering if there's a little bit of infighting, backstabbing, talking about the other? It happens, and it
Yes.
happened. I saw it all the time, and yeah, it was disheartening. Is Yeah, a bit disheartening. Did you notice that? I don't know if you did.
Um, I found sand great fun.
Mm.
The lens of perception that I had was that, the men, the men featured very highly, and there was just this kind of token woman here and there. I brought this up with the organizers. Um, the opening panel on a Friday night, men, 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 men. And then eventually there was a token woman in there, but she was a scientist. She wasn't a spiritual leader. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess it's commercially driven. And then I started seeing it like, okay, so it's commercially driven because they're looking for, yeah, they need to make money. I'm like, okay, so the money thing then has overridden. And so then I ended up the following year giving a talk about money. And I'm like, there's layers of like these pressures that we have bowed down to instead of truth. It's like there's an absence of integrity. Let's use the name of truth, but actually we will be obedient to, you know, to a big name, to whatever it is that is new and shiny and popular and will create a great experience. But actually, it's like, oh, are we just being used here? Is there any actually interest in truth at all? At all? I have a friend who um, he works with very small groups now, and we're in touch a lot. He's a sweet friend, and he was involved in the very first conversation with the organizers of Sand to create this. And he spoke at the very first conference and he said, non-duality is not the end game at all. So if we're looking at science and non-duality, like you got to know that non-duality is just the flip side of duality. You're not actually out of the game at all if you're just going to hang on to the non-duality. He was never again invited back. Never again. And he's like, okay, all right. So the content of his message was like, nope, that's not welcome either. This is what we're doing, but do not challenge it. Do not challenge it. So, that's life, isn't it? That's life.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like it's like, what can I learn? What can I learn? Where can I shake the world another little bit? Can I shake this? Can I shake this? And I often get wrapped on the hand for shaking things a bit. But
Really,
I still
I'm
I still do
surprised,
it.
Jack.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
no, I love it. I love it. I wasn't yeah, as you may guess, I wasn't trying to knock sand per se. It
Yeah,
was
of
that. It
course.
was
No,
more
it's
that it
it's an
was a little
interesting thing to
petri
look at.
dish, a
Yeah.
petri dish of
Yes.
how vulnerable and susceptible we are still at
Yes.
denying what's right
That's
here.
right. That's exactly it.
The conversations could have been so much more deep.
That's right.
Could
For
have,
sure.
where are you leaving yourself out of this picture? Where do you think that you are better than you're a small fish out of
Yes.
the eel in this pond of
Yes.
sand? You're a big fish. How does that feel?
Yes. So that leads us to this the normalcy of being honest and open is not existing among spiritual leadership.
Exactly. That's it. We've
That's
kind
it.
of found the core of what we're
The
trying
core.
to say.
Yeah. Because you
Yeah.
brought in Sand to look at it in organizationally, and even if we all go together, we don't allow that space to be there.
No.
We do it individually, privately as teachers, or in terms of our solo profession, and we do it organizationally. Just
It's just, it's
denying this human need. Sorry.
right. Life denying. But
Yes.
really, the question should be what's really nourishing
Yes.
and true.
Yes.
And where are you? What is shaky inside that's not being voiced? What's
Yes.
being left out of the conversation
Yes.
here? My
Yeah.
vulnerability, my fears, you know what I mean? It's just what's being left out of the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. That's right.
And
That's right.
it's something you and I you just touched on it now in terms of that that the men were really the keynote speakers, imbalanced. That was real evident, and that in general, something you and I have both had to face, in any woman in any field, any field,
Yes.
and big surprise
Yes.
is the patriarchal nature. That it's
Yes.
still suppressing and denying the feminine
Yes.
And also getting to a deeper root. I like going to the root of things, Jack,
Yes.
in
Yes.
all things. I like going to the root and examining, what's
Yes.
really going on here.
Yes.
And this is a bigger conversation, but it's like it's denying form, it's denying mother, it's
Yeah.
denying matter, which means mother. It's denying what is made of time.
Yes.
It's wanting to push it away. So
Yes.
the eternal is what is valued, the transcendent, and we associated that with the masculine. That which is made of time and impermanent has been repressed and pushed away because it's damn scary. It is
Yes.
time limited.
Yes.
What has given birth to something that dies? The female body. What's given birth to everything is Mother Earth. So
That's
how do
right.
we treat her?
Let's
Right?
put more concrete down. Let's dig up the roses and put down concrete.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's such a deep, deep, deep topic. It's not just like, oh, sounding the alarm bells. There's patriarchy within spiritual teaching and the spiritual, biggie.
Mm,
That.
mm,
Let's go down to more the root.
mm,
It's about
mm,
awakening. It's about making
mm,
what's unconscious conscious. I
mm.
think. I think that's what it's about.
Yes. Yes. It is.
Conversation.
Yes. And I suppose I would invite the listeners right now, if some part of your brain is going, oh, here we have two women giving out about the patriarchy, duh, duh, duh. It's like, okay, where's that coming from? Where is your own feminine nature? It's got nothing to do with your gender, your sexual orientation. It's got nothing to do with that. It's like the feminine aspect of your own being.
Yeah.
Like, where is that? Where's your capacity to be vulnerable? Where's your capacity to hold space for your emotion and let it flow through like water? Like, where's that capacity right now if you're resisting or rubbed a little bit up the wrong way from listening to us? It's like, okay, let your emotional response be welcome here too.
Yeah.
I suppose I don't want people to push us back into the patriarchal model of
No.
I like and I don't like. It's like, no, no, even this is an example of hold all of it.
Yeah.
Hold all of it. Let all of it be here
Yeah.
right now.
Mm.
Every listener, all of you is welcome, especially the vulnerable part, especially that part.
Yeah. Don't spiritually bypass being uncomfortable
Yes,
and go
yes,
into the transcendent to feel better.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's just about balance. Balance. Let's balance this.
Yes, yes. Integration and then balance, maybe.
Like, we'll
Yeah,
stop denying
yes,
things made of form, things that are passing through, things
yes,
that are vulnerable and
yes,
that touch the flesh,
yes.
make you squirm,
That's
you
it.
know?
That's right.
Yeah.
What that does is increases our capacity hugely. And you need to increase your capacity because the transcendent has a cutoff and
Yeah.
it creates a limited scope. And there's the trap.
Yeah.
There's the trap. Like if you're going to be wide open inside and you really are going to like recognize that everything is here, everything is within what you are, and you are everything. If you're really going to understand what that is, you can't have divisions and cut off, and that's not allowed inside your own being. Compartmentalization don't work. Don't work.
That's as far as one's awakening will go.
Yeah,
That's
that's as
it.
far as
And
one. Yeah,
yeah. And then
partial awakening.
partial awakening.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what we're speaking to, as you well said, it's not a woman man thing. It is the feminine nature of intelligence of life that says, come this way, feel, sense, touch, meet, encounter. Don't be afraid. Allow this awakening, this realization that everything is that you are that, to really seep in and know itself through and through, through and through. Where it's, I mean, where it's actually becomes delightful. It becomes
Yes,
delightful to encounter a place that is still unknown,
that's right.
you know?
That's right.
That's the like evolutionary leading edge
That's
of
right.
spirit entering matter.
That's right. That's right.
And that to me is like what it's all about.
That's right. And that becomes like, or it is so welcome because that's where, you're bursting out of a bud, and like, oh, what color is this going to be when I open up the green bud outside it? And you don't know what it is you're breaking open, and dang, it hurts. And there's beauty even in the pain of it, in the emotional pain of that transformation. It's beautiful, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
then
it's
the
like, oh, this is my humanness. This is my humanness.
and I was just thinking then that bud is open and it has pollen and the bees come and the butterflies come and creatures come and participate and benefit and bring the pollen elsewhere. Is then it's like really then there's really like interaction,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
where we're able to
Yeah.
really commune.
Yeah.
If we're not
Yeah.
hiding and protecting and pushing away and denying and
Yeah.
what kind of possibility is that opening to? Not much. It's very defended way to live versus this potential of I really don't know what's going on,
Yes.
really,
Yes.
but I'm willing to be here, you know,
Yes.
explore.
And as I listen, I will understand more, as I listen within and get feedback, and it will come together, and of course it does beautifully. Uh, and I think we're talking about it within spiritual leadership and the culture of contemporary spiritual leadership, particularly. I think it's in many other sectors also,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. I think it's um I often say, as within, so without.
Mm,
The
mm,
what's happening here within
mm,
individually,
mm.
what's happening that here as as a little spiritual collective,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's the same kind of dynamic that might be happening, in Congress.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, where
That's right.
and I guess the invitation is because, this is where my heart lies is to deepen in the conversation and in it's safe to let go and to let go of ideas of how this is supposed to be.
Mm.
The awakening on a personal level, how it's supposed to be translated with
Yes,
someone who's
yes,
who's hopefully skilled at teaching,
yes,
you know, and to have discernment enter about what is healthy. What is
yes.
healthy in terms of who one goes to for spiritual leadership?
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Really observe and listen to your gut, listen to your heart, pay attention, and to the parts that may be wanting to be blind, wanting a parent, as you said earlier,
Yes,
that this unprocessed trauma or whatever, just make sure it's not being that there isn't a blindness that's being played out. And
yes,
because really there are people who are out of integrity who are teaching right now.
yeah.
Would you agree?
Lots, lots.
Yeah. So what would you
Yeah.
like to say if you were to say anything to a listener, um, if it speaks to them, like what would you like to say? What would you like to say to yourself if you were
Mm,
starting on the path?
mm. Yeah. Um, yeah. From I think my path was a little bit different, It wasn't a textbook thing at all. And so I certainly started teaching before I was back in the world. That's for sure. I think I would like to tell myself, you need to know that you're not back in the world and include that in the teachings. I, with somebody else, I might say, don't teach yet, don't teach, don't teach, don't teach yet. But for me, it would be just know that you're teaching and you're not integrated, and let that be part of the teachings. That what the non-integrated state is like, and how to integrate as you go. I would have liked if somebody had told me that 20 years ago. I would have really liked if somebody said uh, there is an integration phase, there is a marination phase. So I I think that's the main thing I would have liked to have heard is like, know that you haven't integrated yet in the world. You need to have, like, here's that concept, put that concept into your brain. And let me just be honest and open about it and saying, okay, but maybe I'm not the right example here because I haven't gone back fully into the world yet. I think that would have been really helpful for me to know. And
And that would be helpful for the students too, right? Because then
yes,
you would say there's an
yes,
awakening has taken place, but it hasn't marinated into life yet.
yes, that's right.
Don't look for um, modeling
Yes.
on that level.
Yeah, it's not modeling. I can't speak to modeling how to live in the world on the awakened state. I can't. I mean, I probably wouldn't have married the man I married. I probably, like, there are big life decisions that I made because I wasn't big back in the world. And I didn't know that I didn't have the capacity to make life decisions. I did the best I could, but I didn't know. And yeah, I would like people to know that too.
Mm, mm,
To know that that's a real thing and prices to be paid um, by the students and the teacher if that isn't like, where is the teacher at? Be honest about that. Be honest about it.
mm.
Don't play to some, as you said earlier, how does it look? Ramana Maharshi or whatever. It's like, no, it's going to look the way it has to look if you're being honest with yourself. That's how it has to look. Be honest with yourself. That is how it has to look. And let's be more open about that.
Well, as you know, a lot of the teachers that are out there are pretending
Yes,
that their lives are what they're
together. Mm, that's right.
really and together, yeah. And
Mm,
it's really behind the scenes. And
yeah.
if you peek behind the curtain,
Yes.
wouldn't be what you're imagining. And so there's a lot of
Yeah.
false fronts. And so it's really that's that's actually that's the discernment of the student's job
Yes.
to really get as um, clear as possible inside with the nuance of energy.
Yes.
What are you sensing?
Yes.
Even if someone you never see it, let's say you never see how they really are in relationship to others, yeah, it's still up to oneself to be honest to hear to oneself.
Yes.
Because we may never know what it's really like in their world. They come on
Yes.
stage or they're on a YouTube. How can
Yeah.
you really know
Yes.
that that awakening that they're speaking to to what degree it has penetrated their lives?
Yes. Yes.
You can't know.
That's right. That's right. And so if you were to give advice to yourself when you started off, what would it be, Suzanne?
As in teaching or as a student?
Yes. No, as a teacher.
Um, I would say, oh, I do have a fresh response, and that would be that there is a unique voice here.
Mm,
And to find it. And it's okay to try it out and practice over time because um, we're all unique.
yeah.
And it's like I'm finally, I mean, like after all these years, I mean, I have been finding my way and my voice. I really have.
Mm.
But it keeps growing, the capacity. Like I'm
Yep.
reading a little bit more about the global collective,
Yes.
and the pain body of the whole, and the the nature of inequity and what's happening in the world, but it kind of integrating it in my way without just switching to you know
Yeah.
lane, but
Yes.
keep integrating and realizing that this being, what I am, has a voice that wants to keep growing in its under capacity to hit the mark,
Mm.
to hit the mark about what really it's about, the vibration about what it's about. And it's not going to look like that one and that one and that one. All the, for me, my models,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Um, and that there's vibrationally something fresh.
Yes.
I would tell that one
Mm.
that that's the right direction to go
Mm. Beautiful.
in. Of it is of value and wanted and needed, that voice. And everyone's hitting on the mark. Their voice is valued and needed. Like hitting on the mark, I mean that it's not being veiled. It's just
Mm.
transmitted without being um, hidden, or just wondering if it's something that others can handle or take. Is this the right
Yes.
time? All the little question marks about this unique vibration of what one is, of what I
Yes.
am. This is.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
what I would say.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
I love that because it is the antithesis of what's happening in certain parts of the current milieu, where where it's like, oh, this is I've had an awakening. I should become a teacher. This is what I talk about. This is what I do. Here's what my messages. It's the opposite, you know? It's like that template is very dysfunctional. It's very dysfunctional.
Yeah, no, I love that what you're saying. It's a template. And have you noticed it's like the same stuff being recycled because
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's not fresh.
It's not fresh at all. No, it's not fresh.
Mm.
And surely students know it's not fresh. Please, you know, vote with your feet or with your fingers on your YouTube, your cursor, you know. It's like find what's fresh,
Yeah.
you know, not just because there's a few million views on that, like
Uh, yeah,
find what's fresh. Yeah,
because then that invites oneself, one's own unique fragrance, and
that's right.
it's like, as you know, every tree and every mountain and all that is so uniquely itself.
Everyone, every leaf is unique.
It's vibrating unapologetically what
Yeah,
it is,
what it is.
what it is.
Yeah,
And that's the invitation here.
yeah.
So
And our nervous systems, if we're anyway traumatized, that's not safe.
oh, it's and then the collective repressive,
Yes,
um, kind of
yes.
holding down.
Control. Yeah,
This is how much you're allowed to let out and
that's right.
speak. And it's,
That's right.
these are
That's
the
right.
authorities that we have acknowledged, but this isn't over here.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot to break free in
a
terms of
lot.
conditioned collective.
Oh, a lot.
We want it to, well, like,
Yeah.
what do we want? What do we want? Jack, tell me, what do you want?
I want to tell people to have courage,
Oh,
not to be afraid to make mistakes.
yeah, yeah,
And if you get dissed for speaking the truth, sure, the people who are afraid of stepping out for saying something is not okay, they will punish you for it because it threatens their status. So it's like expect to be um, dissed or cancelled. Expect it. Because if you're doing something worthy of speaking, that's probably going to hit you in some shape or form.
mm,
And just keep going, keep checking on the inside, not giving out to it, not giving out about things just for the sake of giving out, but speaking the truth.
yeah,
And sooner or later, that frequency, oh, maybe they're right. Eventually, some people begin to hear, and it takes time and be patient, but like you have to have courage. You have to have courage to follow what resonates as true within you. I
beautiful.
would tell people have courage
Courage.
and yeah, have courage and act on it.
Yeah,
Act on it.
yeah. Oh,
Demand more.
yeah. Wow, it feels like we just helped at what's happening here and also in the space, the larger space. I could feel it to whomever this touches,
Yes,
the
yes,
echoes. It just feels like it just kind of grew more possibility.
yes,
It stretched it out.
yes, yeah,
And yeah,
yeah, yeah. And there's some kind of alignment that happens between our inner values, no, our personal values and the spiritual value system. And that's where the falseness can be. I'll adopt the spiritual value system, but actually ignore my own. And there we have the dissonance. But like the cleaning tidies up our own value system so that it lines up organically. And that sense of walking your talk, of like having an alignment between your own personal inner values and how you show up in the world, that is frigging beautiful. That feeling. Do you know that feeling of the quiet confidence of knowing there's no inner conflict.
yeah,
There's no inner conflict.
yeah. Well, what I hear in that is you're not betraying yourself,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that creates courage. That is courage.
That is courage. There it is.
Yeah.
That is courage.
Yeah. Well, thank you for this.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it does feel like there's something opened a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Something opened. Yeah, I can feel that too energetically. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mm.
just want to go through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Birth
yeah.
canal, come
Yes.
through.
Come through. You're welcome.
Birth something
Yeah.
fresh and real,
Yeah. It's
deeper
welcome
than
here. Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
You know, less limitation, collective and self-imposed, less limitation.
Yeah.
I guess that's what freedom's about, right, Jack?
Yes.
That's what,
It is. It is. It's the limitations are in our mind. The limitations are our blind spots.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we could go on, I feel, but
We could, yeah, meander around this. It's like this lovely sleepy
we're
river,
just birthing something, or like, okay, baby.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Let
Yeah.
life take care of it.
Yeah, that's right. Let life take care of it. This is the midwifery part, and let's see what happens next.
Yeah, we're
Mm.
doulaing ourselves into manifest.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Um,
And thank you to the listeners who stayed
yeah,
with
thank
us.
you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.